Welcome to Sales Training for Podcasters, the podcast designed to better your sales process. We'll be sharing tools, tips, and techniques, whether you love sales or hate sales. If you've got a product or service to sell and a podcast, you've come to the right place. Now, here's your hosts, podcast strategists Doug Sandler and JJ Flizanes.
Welcome, everyone, to Sales Training for Podcasters. I'm JJ Flizanes.
And I am Doug Sandler.
And we wanted to put this content out because as podcasters, we've realized that just because you love your craft and you're good at what you do when it comes to recording or curating episodes, we've realized that there's a gap in taking your podcasting business to the next level. Out of over 1,000 people that were surveyed, 85% make no money podcasting. That's $0.
Wow, that is sad. There's even a more alarming statistic, and that is, and I don't mean to laugh at this because it is a sad statistic. It's less than 1% actually make enough money to support the production of their own show, which means that let's say the average show costs a few $100. You know, by the time you're done with admin or VA or any of that, they're not even making enough money to support the production of the show. So that means that leaves about 99% or more that actually would be totally open game for this podcast. So we are excited to be bringing you this message and sharing the stuff that we have learned over the last 5+ years as of the first episode, the welcome episode, this one to this podcast, Sales Training for Podcasters.
And with over 1 million podcasts that are probably produced as of now, I believe it's only 10% have episodes that are current, as well as episodes that even go past episode 13. So there's a lot of things working against you as a new podcaster in terms of knowing the tools and the tricks and the ways to turn your podcast into a business. And so that was the reason for the show.
So much doom and gloom out there. Let's brighten this up a little bit.
Well, it's the statistics help you to be realistic. I mean, how many podcasters do you know, Doug, that start off and they're just like, yeah, I'm going to do this podcasting thing. And then, a couple months later, they're like, yeah, I'm not making any money.
Well, that's most, unfortunately. So I guess there is a little doom and gloom in there, but it does not have to be that way. You can launch a podcast, you can actually make money right from day one, and you don't have to have a huge audience or be Mr. Popular or Mrs. Popular in putting your podcast together. And so you found the right spot. If you're somebody that's out there just trying to figure out, what do I need to do? We're going to tell you what to do.
We're going to take you step by step. We're going to teach you the ropes from what we've experienced. You're going to get a lot of information about us, who we are, our journey, for you to learn from our success and failures, things that you can take with you and put into your business and podcast right now. And that will come in the weeks to come. A little bit about how this show is going to run, because Doug Sandler was the son of Dave Sandler, who owns Sandler Sales Training. Doug has a very long history in the sales space, and I have not as long of a history, or in the same respect. But I've come from a very right-brained dancer, performer point of view. And so sales was something I had to learn. It wasn't natural, wasn't normal for me. It might have felt weird at the beginning. I wasn't born into that sales is some normal thing people do. And so we're going to take both of our perspectives and combine it for you so we can really speak to the left brainers, the people who are strategic, and maybe this is a part of what you're used to, so it's not a big deal, as well as the people who just feel totally uncomfortable with the idea of sales. You hate the idea of sales. It feels icky. It feels bad. It makes you cringe. Like, we're going to address all of that. And we're going to do it through a series of lessons that we're going to provide, as well as guests that we'll have on the show to learn from their mistakes as well as their greatest wins.
Just keep in mind, if you do get to the point where you're selling and it does feel icky or yucky, or you just don't feel like totally yourself, then you know that you're kind of forcing something that you don't have to force. Sales doesn't have to be a forced practice. It's interesting, JJ, you mentioned that you come from the theatrical background, and you do. And what's so great about it is that there's not a lot of difference between acting and selling. There is some role that you have to play as a salesperson. You have to kind of listen differently to a prospective customer about what they want. It is conversation that you have. It is relationship that you're going to build. but it is understanding the role that you play in the process. You can't just la your way to 6-figure or 7-figure income. You have to be deliberate. You have to come up with a plan, and you need a strategy. And again, that's partly why we put this show together. We were just seeing way too many shows that were just, I got this great content. It's not just about creating great content. It's about understanding what to do with the content that you've actually created. And we're going to share with you. We'll be highly transparent to you as we go through this process. We're going to talk to you about the process that we go through with some episodes. I mean, with some particular guests that come on the show and with the community that we're building. And we will make it come full circle so that you'll understand exactly what we're talking about. And that's why I'm excited.
And just like Doug said, in terms of the sales position, I also want you to really understand that while it is in ways like the acting world, you're not going to be acting, you're going to be you. And you're not going to be lying, and you're not going to be putting on a character, but there is a role to be played in the delivery of your business and the delivery of your message. And you have a responsibility to either your community or to the world or to the mission that you're on to deliver that in a way that's impactful. And that does mean that you need to make sales. Like, in order for your message and whatever it is that you're teaching in the world to make an impact, someone else has to buy it. And so to piggyback on what Doug said, I just want to make sure those of you don't hear that it's about acting or lying or pretending. It's not. You're going to learn how to be who you are in your fullest. So that way sales is natural for you and there's nothing icky about it, but it is going to come from an authentic place of being who you are for real. So you're going to hear a lot from Doug and I, not only in sales training, but as well as in lessons that we have learned. So the majority of this podcast will be sort of half and half, Doug and I, as well as guests that we bring onto the show. So this entry episode, if you don't really like us, then this may not be the right show for you. We are a couple.
That hurts. Don't hurt me.
We are a couple. And if you can't tell by now, I'm the more left brain one. No, I'm kidding. But I am the more structured one. But we both have so much information and experience and perspective to bring to you, which we'll do every week on this show. And hopefully you'll get something out of it.
So who is the show for? So if you're listening to the show right now and you're a podcaster that is experienced, awesome, you're in the right spot because something brought you to us. Maybe it is that you're not making enough income from your show. Maybe you're not making any income from your show and you want to try to figure out how to do that. What is selling exactly? How does that fit into the role of podcaster? So we're going to walk through a lot of those steps. If you're a brand new podcaster or about to launch a show, this is a great time for you to tune in because we're going to help you learn habits right from the very beginning. Those experienced podcasters, you know, it's interesting. The ones that have all the experience but don't necessarily have the dollars behind them to as the fruits of their labor, sometimes it's challenging to undo some of those habits. So experienced podcasters, we're going to help you undo some of those habits. New podcasters, get ready to really just start learning some great habits right from the very get-go. We are going to take you step by step through the process of the strategies, the things that actually have worked for us. In my case, for over 1,100 episodes of my anchor show, the Nice Guys on Business podcast, and JJ with her show Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. She does an amazing job of building her community and understanding what it is to monetize that community and monetize the show itself. So you're in a good spot whether you're seasoned, brand new, or about to launch a podcast. If podcasting is coming in your world in some way, shape, or form, we are going to show you exactly how to take that and use that as a great sales tool for your business. Hey, just as a reminder, we're going to be coming to you once a week, kind of like Netflix. We are going to be on demand. So whenever you want to pull the episode, that's great. There should be a bunch of episodes that are already on Apple Podcasts or wherever you do consume your podcast content. So feel free to go back and listen. We would love it if you rate and review the show because for us, while the rankings are not the essential part of the selling, it's great to know that what we're doing is right, wrong, indifferent. How do you want us to present the material to you? We're also, as JJ said, we're going to be doing the interviews. We're also going to be doing a lot of monologue and teaching episodes as well. Every once in a while, JJ is going to be doing an episode by herself. Every once in a while, I will be doing one by myself also. Not that we can't work really well together, but maybe inspiration will strike at 3 a.m. and I'm going to get up and record an episode. So we have a URL for this, don't we, JJ?
For more information right now, you can go to salestrainingforpodcasters.com. It's the name of the show, salestrainingforpodcasters.com. There is more to come. We have tools for you. We have lessons for you. We've got some master classes for you that are coming down the pipeline. But first, we want to move to episode number 2. And so you can learn a little bit more about Doug. And then episode number 3, you'll learn a little bit more about me. So why don't we conclude today's episode. Thanks for being here. If you've decided that you like us enough to listen more and you want to learn from us, we're excited to have you on the journey. We won't disappoint. We're going to give you tools. We're going to give you information. We're going to take you through some trainings. And a lot of it you can do just from this podcast. You won't need any further information. But there will be times where you might want some information. You might want to work with us or take something that we're offering. And that will be offered to you as well.
All right. So it's time to start training. Stop talking and let's do this.
Okay, see you on the other side.
Thanks for listening to Sales Training for Podcasters. To get additional information and to access more amazing content that will boost your sales game, visit salestrainingforpodcasters.com. Hey, do us a favor. Rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Again, thanks for listening.